Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jacob Bennett with Bulldog Analytics, and today I want to take a few minutes to talk about how you can create a local instance in SQL Server, and then from there you can connect to database files or really just any files on your laptop, whether it be Excel, CSV, text, so on and so forth. With this local instance set up in SQL Server, it allows you to connect to these files on your local machine and explore them and even join them to each other using SQL in the SSMS interface. This isn't going to be super techy. It's really just going to present the basics to get you started with a local instance and then be able to connect to a database file or local files on your computer. Now today I'm going to be using the AdventureWorks 2022 sample dataset. I'll link that in the info below, but I really just want to present the basics today and keep this discussion pretty short. We're going to get you started and then you can dive into the more technical side on your own. All right, let's get started. Alright guys, as you can see on my screen, I'm on the Microsoft website. I just want to say that the very first and most important step is to make sure that you have SQL Server Management Studio or SSMS downloaded on your computer. If not, navigate to the web page I have shared here, scroll down, you should have some download options. It's very intuitive to walk through just like any other software. Alright, once you have SQL Server Management Studio installed on your desktop, we're going to go into the command prompt to check and see if you have a local DB instance installed on your local machine. This step is crucial to ensure that you're able to run database files in SQL Server Management Studio or to import your own Excel or CSV files from your own desktop into SQL Server. Alright, I'm going to go into command prompt and run it as administrator. Here I'm going to type SQL local DB space info, enter. As you can see, I've already installed it, so I have results here. The first time I did this though, I got an error that said SQL local DB is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or batch file. Now, if you receive this error, it likely is indicating that SQL Server Express has not been installed on your local machine, and so that's going to be the next step to this process. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and click over to my next tab. Again, we're on the Microsoft website. This particular page comes up when you Google or just search SQL Server Express Local DB. Not to get too technical, but this is basically a free version of Microsoft's SQL Server Relationship Database Management System, and it allows us to interact with the local files on our computer using SQL Server once we download this free version of the Relational Database Management System. All right, to install, I'm going to scroll down. And under installation media, I'm going to select the latest one, SQL Server Express 2022. Click on my downloads. Once this screen pops up, you're going to click on the far right option, download media. Under which package would you like to download, select local DB and click download. The process is very quick. Once it says download successful, you can click on the open folder option. From here, double click. Now it'll walk you through an automated setup process. You can click next. Here I have the option to repair or remove. I've already installed it on my computer, so you probably would see something different. I'm going to go ahead and click next. Install. Based on the specs of your machine, it really shouldn't take too long. You can see it's completed the repair in my particular instance, the installation in yours. I'm going to go ahead and click finish. Alright, from here you should be able to come back into command prompt. Again, run it as administrator. We're going to run the same command as we did earlier. SQL local DB info, enter. And though I had these results before, you should also see these results now as well. Now that we have this local instance installed on our computer, we can go ahead and pop over to SQL Server. Here I'm going to come up and click connect. I'm going to select database engine, and it's already pre-filled here for me, but you're going to type in the server name exactly as it's listed here, which is open parentheses local DB close parentheses / local DB1. Ensure that the authentication method is Windows authentication and click connect. Once you click connect, you should now see that you are connected to your local database instance in SQL Server. Now, as mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm using the AdventureWorks 2022 sample dataset, and there's two ways I want to show how you can connect data to this local database instance in SQL Server. I'm going to click over to my web browser. I'm going to click over to my next tab. The first way is by simply connecting to or importing a CSV file or multiple CSV files in this instance, or another accepted file format like Excel. This Kaggle dataset contains everything you'll need for the AdventureWorks 2022 sample dataset. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see some of the tables and schema that make up the data, but I like to just click this download button at the option and it'll download all the files to your computer. All right, I've got those files saved in a location on my desktop called Power Query Demo. I'm going to go into SQL Server Management Studio, and under databases, I'm going to right click and I'm going to select new database. Here, I'm just going to title this database test and click OK. As you can see, it's now created a database. If I break that out, it'll actually show the underlying tables and schema that make up that database, although it's currently empty. I can right click on test, go down to tasks, and click import flat file. From here, I can click next. I can select the location of my files. I have to do one at a time. I'll select product first, click open, define my table schema, which defaults to DBO, click next. It displays a preview, everything looks good. I'm going to click next. Here, if you want, you can alter the data type, define primary keys, so on and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and skip all this and click next. Finish. It says the operation is complete. I'm going to go ahead and close. And then when I come over to my tables folder, I can break that out and I can see down there at the bottom that I now have access to DBO product. If I break that out and click the columns option, you can see all the columns that underlie it. If I run a new query by selecting new query, I can do a simple select statement. And now we're actually querying data from a file located on my local machine because we've installed this local DB instance and are accessing the imported file using SQL Server Management Studio. Very exciting stuff. All right, I'm going to click back to my web browser and we're going to walk through one additional process related to all of this. So on the last tab here, I've got AdventureWorks sample dataset, and this Microsoft link contains a bunch of different types of files that you can download. If I scroll down, you'll see that there's these different backup files, OLTP, data warehouse, lightweight. Again, this is not a technical discussion today. I'm just kind of getting to the point. So I've already downloaded this AdventureWorks 2022.bak under the OLTP column. It's a type of backup file, and I'm going to walk through how we can get that into SQL Server as well. All right, from this screen, I'm going to go ahead and collapse some of the stuff I'd broken out, but I'm going to right click on databases, and there's this option to restore databases, and I'm going to click on that. Here I'm going to switch the source to device. I'm going to click the ellipsis. Here it defines the backup media type, file or URL. I'm going to leave it as file and click add. Now the best practice would really be to take that file from the Microsoft website and put it in the backup location for SQL Server Management Studio. I'm going to keep it really simple right now. I put it in a desktop file, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull it from there. As you can see, there's my AdventureWorks 2022.bac. Click OK. Click OK again. And click OK one more time. It's going to take a second to load, but now it says database AdventureWorks 2022 restored successfully. I'm going to click OK. And you'll see underneath the test database I created with that single CSV, I now have the entire AdventureWorks 2022 database. And if I break it out, and I break out tables, you'll see I have every single table contained in that backup file. If you can get your hands on one of these backup files for these sample data sets out there, this is definitely the way to go. But if you're creating your own database from your own files, then I would go the first route through importing files. All right, guys, that's all I've got today around establishing a local instance and then connecting to files on your local machine using Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I hope you found this beneficial and to the point. There's a ton of other supplemental information out there to learn more and especially get into the technical side of all this. Again, I really wanted to strip this back and just present the basics so that you could get started. Now, this diverges a little bit from my normal content around Power BI, so we're going to be back at it later this week. I hope you can follow along, subscribe, and share with your colleagues, and I will see you next time.